We're almost at the 1-year mark since the pandemic hit the region, and the San Diego Food Bank continues to help those in need.
Casey McKinnon is live at the distribution center there, telling us about the program and what it continues to offer. Hi, Casey. Good morning.
Casey.
Hi, good morning. Yeah, we're at the San Diego Food Bank this morning, joined by Jim Floros. And Jim, I want to ask you, well, first of all, good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
Long time no see, my partner.
Yeah, good to see you.
It's almost been a year since the pandemic hit. So what are your thoughts on that and the challenges that you've had to face and overcome to help people?
Hardest, toughest, most challenging, 10, 11 months of my career, also the most rewarding. I marvel at how well our organization has done, and we've pivoted, and how dedicated our staff are. I mean, we're frontline day in. We're not working remotely. We're on the streets every day feeding people. I think at the end of January, we hit 52 million pounds of food distributed. So that'll be like 57 million by the end of February, feeding about 600,000 people a month, $10 million in food purchases. It is crazy. But you know what? We're working hard, and the community is really supporting us.
How did you overcome that by doing what you do best?
Well, we've always prided ourselves on being very business-like and very entrepreneurial and being a completely local organization. That's kind of in our DNA. So when the pandemic hit, there was not a flinch or a panic. We just pivoted, and we created phase 1 of our response. Now we're on phase 4. So we keep adjusting, seeing what's going on real time on the ground, and then we make adjustments and we feed more people.
When you hear those numbers, you just think, wow, you can't even believe it. So are things getting better for you guys now that things are starting to open up?
Well, not yet. And we see a little bit of a dip here and there. Maybe a stimulus check will come out, and we'll see a little bit of a dip, but we're still at least about 550,000 people a month. And then, we've got a full-blown recession. So, our messaging will go from COVID to recession pretty soon, because, we know that it's going to take 2 or 3 years for a full recovery, and we are expecting a lot of need for a long time.
And I know that you also have things coming up, always doing something new to get the community involved in. You have a gala, so talk about that.
Well, it's before COVID, it was known as probably one of the best galas in town, because we do it right here at the warehouse, down that end of the warehouse. Obviously, COVID has kind of put a crimp in our style, but it's going to be a virtual event. It's on April 17th. It's going to be live stream. We've got a great headliner, Chris Norton, for people who know. It's a Return to Old Hollywood is our theme. So we got a lot of cool things up our sleeve for that event.
And I know you're always looking for donations so you can continue to help the community.
Well, and as I mentioned earlier, we hit $10 million in food purchases in December. I would expect probably by the end of March, there'll be another $2 million in food purchases. So, just because we're past the holidays doesn't mean there isn't a lot of need in our community. So $1 leverages 5 meals. I don't know a nonprofit that can take a donor dollar that far.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for having us at the warehouse bright and early this morning.
Always welcome. Always welcome.
Thank you, Paul and Lauren. We're going to go ahead and send things back to you, but wow, we're almost at that 1-year mark. Can you believe it?
Oh, it's just hard to think about, but wow, the food bank has just stepped up in such a tremendous way. It's incredible what they've been able to do. So,
Jim's
thanks.
my vote for MVP.
Yeah, amazing.
Or MVPSD, most valuable person in San Diego.
MVPSD.
There you go. And tell Mark that it's still raining in Chula Vista.
Mark, you hear that?
His sprinkler, evidently. Still wrong.
Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, Casey.